Okay, this is just a quick and dirty example of my workflow, and I'm hoping this screen grab works this time. Yay! Alright, so this is my listings page. You see I've started doing a couple of the mock-ups that are new and shiny over here. I love how these turned out. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab... this one will turn out cool. Let's do this one. So, this is what I have so far, and while I'm here, I read in the Etsy guidebook that putting the things that the people most search at the top of the listing title is the best. And then the title in the description or at the end, or the title of your artwork in the description or at the end of the listing title itself. Anyway, super tough. We'll do that. Okay. And then I'll leave that there. And now I'm going to go into photos. So for this one, it looks like they've got a pixel, which is good. I don't think I have very many Google Pixel promo pics. And eventually I'm going to go through and do each and every model. I just got to go over to Printify and grab them. And I don't feel like doing that for this video. This is simple enough. You're just going to hit print screen. I don't know how well it's going to come up, but on mine, when I hit print screen, Windows 11 allows me to automatically select a portion of the screen and click and drag, so I don't have to clear out everything. And this will come in handy. You want to drag it with enough white space around for a reason. When I go to Photoshop and I hit new, it's going to default in size to the space. Now it's going to default to 72 pixels per inch. As we've discussed, we want our graphics for print to be at least 300 dpi, but really I use all of my graphics at 300 dpi just in case, with rare exceptions. For my sticker designs, sometimes I'll leave those at 72 dpi just to prevent people from trying to screen grab and steal my designs as easily. Make them work for it. And I'll also bump it up to about 1000 pixels there and about 1200 here, I think. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't distort it. We'll find out. Actually, there's a better way to do this. This is the outtake I'm probably going to leave in. Nope. There, back to the sizes. 300. And, oh no. I'm going to have to math. That's annoying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 80. It's about 400. Fine. We'll see if it works. Meh. Sort of. Actually, that does work for our purposes. Okay, carrying on. We're going to go over to this tool here. This is the object selection tool. This is an important tool that you should be using in your daily workflow with your designs to clean them up for general use and not just mock-ups. But here's how we use it if you haven't yet. See the white space? Click and drag around your product. What's going to happen is, well, that, because it's stupid. All right, so don't click and drag. Click that. Sometimes that happens. So just click the item and see how it automatically made a little select bubble. That pink is annoying. I can't stop it. I don't know how. Automatic little selection bubble around it. Now, we want this part too, and we don't want the white space in between. So hold down the Shift key on your keyboard. Boop. See how that symbol turned to a plus sign? It's going to add stuff. Click on this one. Now they're both highlighted. Now, sometimes people hit Control or Alt J. I forget the exact shortcut, the one that, jumps it to a new layer. It doesn't always work. What I do, I invert the selection. Now, everything except the phones is highlighted. And I hit the delete key. Boop! There goes the white space. Now, I do create a new layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the artwork. That's not the folder. Let's find it. If I'd been thinking more organizationally, I would have had this folder already pulled up for you. My bad. I'm going to find the art that I used. There it is. I'm going to put it over here. Download, 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 download. Okay. Now, go away. All right. So, it's going to jump over the top. We'll fix that in a minute. I don't want it to be exactly the same size as my product. The trick on these mock-ups is to be huge and overblown and make it, you know, more fun, more enticing, I guess. A teaser. So, we're going to do that. Can I zoom out? No, probably not. I don't have this screen mirrored to my drawing pad right now. So, I'm going to go to, well, first I'm going to select the right layer. Thank you. Where's the transform? That's annoying. Well, let me transform it for some reason. There it is. Okay. Scale. Don't know why it chose to crop the image like that. That was weird. Okay, well, we'll fart with it later. All right, so we've got the image here. We've got the cell phone there. I'm going to add some text. Probably move that over here. And then I'm going to give it a sassy little tilt. So I'm going to go transform, rotate, boop. Make it look like it's floating in space there. And then get it to deselect because that's annoying. All right. Now there's kind of a little white outline because that happens when you select from white background. So here's how I'm going to fix that. Blending options, drop shadow. I have it preset to these settings right here. So about 17 pixels distance, 10%, 68 pixel size, and then the contour as you see. And I keep it a black, opacity 100% with a straight up and down angle. And that's how it looks. You can see when I take it off, when I put it on. And that creates the illusion of distance between the foreground and the background layers. Sometimes I will throw on an outer glow if I can make it look good because it's in space. It might give it that sort of ethereal, otherworldly vibe. Nope, that's too dramatic. That's... Nope. Maybe not good for this one. We'll see. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, so we'll keep that. And then we stop there. So that's enough with that. Now the next thing I'm going to do, we notice that the background is still the same saturation as the foreground. That needs to change. So we're going to select our background layer. And then we're going to come down here, that little halftone wheel layer. And we're going to select the brightness and contrast layer. Drop contrast down. Drop brightness down. Right about there. We want to take the tones out. I do curves a little bit. But first I'm going to go to saturation. I'm going to drop saturation down, way down. Because you want to emphasize the brightness. Now, it's starting to look like it's affecting the overall composition. Just to make sure that it's not, I'm going to anchor these. You notice how my box changes when or the mouse icon changes to a box with an arrow when I go down hovering between the two layers? I'm holding down the Alt key. If I don't hold down the Alt key, nothing changes. Hold down the Alt key, left click, it'll anchor this layer to only touch this layer. Do the same thing for the saturation layer. Anchor it in place. That way, even if this layer were to grow smaller, it would only affect this layer and nothing that was behind it. That's going to be important in a minute. I'm going to show you how. When I select this layer, I want it to still pop. So I'm going to select a brightness layer. Boop. Now that's going to affect the whole thing when I go like this. See? I don't want to do that. So I'm going to anchor it to only affect the phone. Ta-da! Now when you bring brightness up, make sure you're bringing up contrast. That'll make the colors more vivid, otherwise it'll just look washed out. And if I bring contrast up without bringing brightness up, it makes the colors deeper, but it stays uber dark. So you don't want to do that. You want them to stay in parallel, whether you're going up or down. And if you bring it up too high, there's a chance that it will absolutely wash out no matter what you do. So probably there's going to be my sweet spot. ish. There we go. Now, still doesn't look quite right. So, what else can I do to it? I usually do a blur filter. As you can see, I've got Gaussian blur already selected. What that does is it emphasizes an even further distance. See how dramatic that jumped? No radius, pixel radius, getting further and further away. There we go. There we go. Now that's looking dramatic. I like how that's turning out, but maybe I overthought it with the outer glow. Drop that off. There we go. What else can I do to this to make this pop? Ooh. I'm going to take you with me while I play with something real quick. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. That popped out over there. So lens flare. There we go. Oh, I like that. Okay. Let's see how that works. Nah, because then it implies maybe that the lens flare is something that they get on the graphic itself. Control Z, undo. Meh. It was a nice experiment. Didn't last. Okay. Text. Why is it doing that, you ask? Because I have it anchored to the layer. Move it. Unanchor it. Now, because I did that, I have to re-anchor the brightness layer. There we go. So, available 4. I would paste the layer still, but I want to show you what I'm doing. So I'm going to put another drop shadow down there. Might adjust it a little bit because it's text. It doesn't need as dramatic shadow or distance. Come back here. There we go. You just got to play with it to find your sweet spots. Then I'm going to do bevel and emboss. And my defaults are set pretty mild, so it's not going to be true dramatic, but just enough to give it a little bit of a 3D effect. I might throw contour on there. No, not with that font. Okay. So drop shadow, bevel and emboss. Okay. Font size isn't really that important for this size of graphic. It's sitting at about 18, but it's less important to be specific about that right now because you're going to change it. You're going to tweak it. You know, just basically drag it around till it looks right. The auto spacing I don't like. So auto is going to set it to whatever size your font is or close enough. Mine is 18. I'm probably going to tighten it to 16 there. See how it pops a little bit better? It's more in line with itself. I like that. It's less of a paragraph and more of some ad text. Sorry about my phone alerts. Okay. Next time I'll put my phone on silent before doing these educational videos. All right. So, rather than do... Why did that not work? I guess it is beveled and embossed, maybe. Heh, okay. No, it's not. Weird. Well, okay, so the shadow is extending. I just can't see it because it's so small. All right, we figured that one out. Anyway, so getting back on track. Copying the layer style. You right-click on the layer, copy layer style. And that's important because you don't want to have to go do everything manually. Paste layer style. See? Ta-da! All right, now, I think that's all I'm going to do for this one. I might add, you know, super tough phone case or the Techno Whimsy logo here, but for now, just to quick and dirty it, I like the way it's going. That brightness seems a little too high. Let's bring it back down a little bit. That'll do. And then the last step, export as PNG. Always PNG. Always, always PNG. Okay. Doesn't really matter what you name it as long as you can tell and you can know what listing it links to. I always add a number in case I change my mind later. That way I don't lose anything. And we're done. and joy. I hope that works for you. Let me know if you've got questions.